What is going on, everybody? It's JT here with JT Invests in You. And today we have David over at Crypto4Change and C. Will with the Passive Income Network. And this is an Algorand ecosystem update here to bring you all things Algorand. Of course, the market is kind of going pretty sour right now. It's not too fun to watch, but there's a lot of exciting things to talk about. I recently did an AMA with the Yieldly CEO, so we'll discuss our feelings about that. Tiny Man just launched a new roadmap, which is pretty exciting. You know, Zone just had their IDO on Algorand, which sold out in less than 2 minutes, which is pretty wild. It looks like we lost Seawill there for a second.
I'll be right
AlgoFi,
back.
oh, you're good. AlgoFi just announced that they're going to unveil a DEX, which is pretty exciting. And yeah, we've got a whole bunch of things to talk about. So how you doing, David?
I'm doing good, man. Obviously, the red market today. I've been obviously for my, I haven't made a video in a couple, about a week or so. I feel like I've been rearranging my studio, so I got to spend most of my day today doing that. But I have noticed all the red that's out there. I literally had people messaging me saying, "Algo's below $1.20. What are you doing? What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm buying." I mean, obviously, if I had the money, I'd be buying. Right now, most of my money's tied up. I'm not, but I think there's a lot of good buying opportunities out there.
Yeah, I could totally agree. I mean, there's a lot of things that are hitting my buy zones, algo in particular, but every time I look at Bitcoin, I'm just like I'm not convinced that we've seen the end of it, you know. So
I just don't feel
there is
like
some
I just feel
concern that
like
I think.
like I just don't think it can, like, with the history of what Bitcoin does, and if it was like, if this is the crypto winter or the bear market, if it was to go down and do what it's done before, which is a what, 70 to 80 something percent fall from all time highs, that would put it too close to the that the moving average or whatever that line is, where it would end up going too far down. So I still think we're gonna pop off this. I just think there's just so much FUD being thrown out right now that's obviously Bitcoin's been dragging down, but I'm still bullish that we're gonna flip hopefully sometime soon. I would love to see the end of February and March, kind of into the first quarter, into the second quarter, be really big for not only Bitcoin and some of the big ones out there, but I'm looking to see a lot of the ASAs that are in Algorand's ecosystem start to pop off.
Well, y'all, I am back. Somehow I got to use this webcam. My other one's tripping out.
Oh no.
It's all good.
Yeah. So where were we? Catch me up.
Oh, we were just quickly discussing the state of the market. We haven't gotten too much further than that.
Oh yes. Algorand is definitely down. Hurts the portfolio. But again, I did purchase more last night or a day or two ago when it was about $1.27. So I got to keep buying.
Yeah, it's a good area. Mod strings. I don't know if that's his name. What's up, guys? Roadmaps mean nothing anymore. I guess we should start talking about about Yieldly then, with that AMA.
Yeah, that is a perfect segue into that. So yeah, what did you guys think? I mean, of course, I have my thoughts, but I hosted it, so I'd love to know what you guys think.
Yeah, I'll say this, like, and I watched the whole thing, like I was there, like I was excited to hear it, but if anyone has ever been on a live stream, even like this, obviously I know we don't have hundreds of thousands of viewers or anything like that, but there is a nervousness, I think, that comes with just, being live. And it seemed like he may have been a little nervous. I don't know, just because when you asked him that first question, he just like went and like, he went on and on. Like everybody in the comments was telling you to reel him in over and over again. I was laughing just because of, him trying to explain it. And then he just started going really far into it. But I think he meant well. I just think I don't know if he just wasn't ready for it, or I don't know.
It was tough too, because I had a strict 1 hour segment and I probably had 12, 13 questions lined up. I think I was able to ask like 7 or something like that. I should have probably tried to reel him in some more, but it was tough. He would kept giving those long-winded answers, and I didn't want to come off as like rude and cut him off. But there was a certain point at the end where I was like, all right, we gotta speed this along a little bit.
Yeah. And a lot of the questions were a little like, they weren't like just simple. Although you did give him one, I will say, you did give him one like yes or no question, and he skirted that like a politician.
Yeah, I was gonna say politician. Yeah, he definitely was on his politician dancing. I was reading the comments the whole time. I came in about 10 or 15 minutes after you started, so I had to go back and watch the beginning. And to dive into what he said, a part that kind of didn't touched me right there was that when he was talking about all the tokens he did give away to the community,
Yeah.
and it was kind of like I took that as like he was like, well, I'm not helping doing anything for y'all on this Polygon yes sport because I gave y'all so much money in the yearly drops and all that, which is kind of subjectively I could say the same thing. Like we gave you money by buying all the tokens in the first place, you
Yeah.
know. So oh, what we got on the screen here?
No, sorry. I went to
Yeah.
share my screen, but I didn't realize it was going to pop up right away.
But yeah, so that's how I'm feeling about that. It was like that rubbed me wrong from the very beginning in the interview, and then he just continued to dance and not, I'll say, be clear enough on what they were actually trying to do here.
Yeah, I'm obviously, after listening to the whole thing, like, and even especially going back and reading then break it down, like in the Medium post, I think it was, or the blog post that they posted out after it. I'm still with a lot of the people that were still in the comments that weren't just like, trying, almost like I feel like a lot of people came into the interview looking to like drill Seb and like see him mess up somewhere, see him slip or catch him up in somewhere, but I came in kind of with an open mind, like, I don't know all the inner workings of what Yieldy's trying to do. I don't know all the inner workings of this esports and what it's trying to do. I'm still trying to learn, and there's not a lot of information. So I came more with a blank slate, and I think there was a lot of people in the comments and who were watching that came in with that mentality as well. And I think it was productive for all sides. For those who were skeptical of Yieldy and think that this is the end, you know what? They may be gone and they may go find something else, but I still haven't sold mine, and yet we're Yieldy's down to 0.012, so almost a penny, down 10% on the day. And if we go back and look,
yeah,
I will say the last rundown we hit right around these numbers right before we went back up to 2.5 cents. So we'll see if it flips again.
Yeah, from my sentiment, what I've seen, it's like looks like the community is split like 60-40 from what I was seeing. Like 40% was like, oh, Yuli, whatever, great move as a startup. And then the rest of the people are still, like JT said at the very end, has some concerns, we'll say, the best way to put it. And I do have some concerns. And I have to say, to be transparent, I did sell some of my Yieldly. I see that the price was dropping more, and if it's kind of pegged to Algorand, if Algorand's at $1.20, it's like no reason Yuli wouldn't also go down. So right. I think that's a whole ecosystem tanking other than DeFi.
Yeah, I mean, well, DeFi is so new and hot that I think it's not going to be immune for long. I expect that. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I hope to be wrong because I bought a good amount at presale. I hope it just goes and goes until I get all my presale tokens. But yeah, I don't expect that to be immune from the moves of the market for too long.
Yeah.
So, speaking of, do any of you have DeFi?
I do not.
I got in and out yesterday, kind of like I was saying in the group, because I learned too. Like I heard David, you were saying with Opulus. Now looking back, I was like, well, JT made the best move by selling when Opulus hit what $4 or $5 or so. So shout out to you. That was a good move right there. So that's pretty much what I did with DeFi. I got in and out after I saw the charts running, and I hopped in and out, got a 1.5x or so, and then put it right back into algos.
Yep,
perfect.
That's like nice. That's the thing. It's like it's so hard to do in investing, especially with crypto because of how volatile it is. But like realistically, it's like it's so hard to like pull yourself out of that attachment to the crypto, because I mean obviously I've not sold any of my Opulus. It's all still staked over on KuCoin. I'm still earning that 35%, and obviously Lil Pump, that song drops tomorrow, and so it drops tomorrow, so that means we'll start earning not only the royalties as it's played, obviously those will be paid out quarterly, but we're going to be earning Opulus 1 for 1 on those royalties. So at the start, when I first got into Opulus, I saw the potential and I started, I was just going to buy, accumulate, not sell any of it, mainly because, I didn't want to pay tax. I didn't want to do the whole tax thing where you had to start worrying about how much I'm paying on capital gains and all that stuff. And I was just going to let it ride. But obviously when it ran all the way to 7 something, looking back, it's like definitely should have took some more. I did sell the smallest bit, but not as much as I probably should have, because now it's at $1.07.
Dollar what?
$1.67 right now.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
sheesh. Yeah.
Do we have anybody in the chat who's got Opulus right now? Holden?
I have a lot of Opulus right now. Yeah, like you said, I bought when it was like 70 cents. I sold at like $5.30, and it felt good at the time. But then I watched it run to like 7.50, and I was like, damn, maybe I made the wrong choice. But obviously, now that it's back below $2, I've been buying it super heavy, and I'm like, well, I guess I made the right choice in the long run.
Yeah,
And
you
now
did.
that I'm staking it on KuCoin, I'm earning like 14 or 15 Opulus a day, which it's pretty awesome. So.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You can't time the market. That's, you really have to just have a strategy. And that's why I didn't sell, like I didn't change my mentality in the midst of what I bought, because I bought it. My thought process was, I'm not going to sell any of this. And that's talking about the Opulus I bought at 60 cents to 70 cents. I was like, I'm not selling any of it. I'm going to diamond hand all this until, it gets to where I think it could get, which is, I think if it had the same market
$11.
Doge or SHIB, it'd be in the thousands. So it's like, and I do think that there's way more value in something like Opulus than there is a Doge or a SHIB. And so, it sucks, like, when in hindsight, seeing that you could have made all that money. I could have sold around $6, $7, and then waited. I know I wouldn't have waited all the way until $1.67. When it probably went to $4, I would have probably poured back in, and then I'd still be sitting at a almost 50% something or being down, but I'm still up, and it makes me still confident in holding it.
Yeah. I haven't sold any of my Opulus, and I'm not staked on KuCoin.
It's almost full. It actually did fill up once because there's a cap to it. But then I think they opened up other staking platforms. I think they're on like Zilliqa now or whatever it is, that blockchain. So there's liquidity providing on the XCAD decks. So a lot of people move their tokens over there. So then I was able to stake more. I was able to stake more of my tokens on KuCoin, but it's like 98% full. So if you're looking to stake, I would definitely get into it.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, because I created an account, but I just haven't followed through. Some of those centralized exchanges I do not like for some reason.
Yeah,
I've never had any issues with KuCoin, I will say. So that's my 2 cents there. I've enjoyed it. I've never had any issues with withdrawing funds, sending funds, receiving anything. Like it's been.
So
I've been using it. Sorry, go ahead.
With withdrawing, I know that they do have some type of higher fees on there. Right.
I think it depends on the token, because I don't get hit with heavy fees when I'm withdrawing algo tokens.
I think to withdraw my Opulus is one Opulus token. Like to withdraw Yieldly, well, I've never bought Yieldly there, but I've only really done Opulus and Algorand there. And whenever it's very
I think it's a little bit more than an algo transaction, but it's not like unreasonable.
Oh, I thought I read something where they were like, you got to send out, or you got to basically pay up an Opulus to withdraw.
Yeah, they might charge you like 1 or 2 Opulus for sure. I'm not sure exactly, but that's just like what, like a $3 or $4 withdrawal fee, which isn't too crazy, especially when they're giving me 35% to stake it on their platform right now. So it's like, I'll pay the tiny troll toll to get out of there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I might have to move them over and write myself a note.
Right.
What
else are y'all bullish about when it comes to Opulus? I mean, it's still, like I said, the whole song's dropping tomorrow. What else are you guys looking at with them?
Well, I'm 100% bullish for them though. Like I think long term that they're going to be a real game changer. I still feel the same way whether the price is up or down about Opulus. Just at least overall as the company, right? The token still bullish. Once that website drops, I saw like the highlights and stuff that they're going to be doing on there. So I think if we can later have more utility, as people kind of slightly complained about, I think that'll take it back up, to $6-7.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. As long as the broader market isn't in a bear market, like it potentially could be. I'm not convinced it is, but yeah, if everything holds strong in the rest of the market, I do agree that there's a lot of big things coming for Opulus and the Algorand ecosystem in general. So I could see a lot of things 2, 3, 4xing from here, as long as the rest of the market isn't bleeding like 20 or 30% at a time.
Yeah. Pull up that chart on Bitcoin. What are you thinking? I think you had it up there.
I did.
What are you thinking that What do you think we could see with where the price is at right now and the overall market? I know
Let's
you like
see.
to start more than I do.
I could show you some of my concerns with Bitcoin too, real quick. Let's see. Let's pop this in here. Boom. Can you guys see this all right?
Yep.
All right. So
Oh yeah, you got to chart it up.
I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And right here in my red
much
little circle right here, you see Bitcoin breaking down below the 50-week moving average. This is the 50-week moving average in green. Now, and you guys saw that, right? That's not too small. Perfect.
No,
Cool.
no, you good.
So now if you move over here, I mean, why is the 50-week moving average important? It signals that the bull market is still intact. You can see right here in June and July, it held this 50-week moving average strong, bounced up, and we kept going.
Yep.
If you move back in time a little bit, you see right here, there's a potential almost retest right here back in June of 2020, and we took off to the races. That was around $9,000. The last time it broke this 50-week moving average was right here, right before the COVID drop, which sent it down. Let's see. It sent it down from the
right?
from the break. It sent it down like 55% super quick. I mean, but that was an anomaly because
Yeah,
that was the
COVID,
COVID
yeah.
break. And then you can see right here, just like 2 months before, it held it as support. You zoom back, and the third to last time, so I mean, the second to last time it broke it. So right here in 2018, it broke it and went down a good 57% over the course of half a year, and that was 2018. You can move back even more and see that it's super important. Once it gets back above, it's off to the races. But right here, it is the third time it broke it in a row, and this present day is the fourth time it broke it in a row. And look, when it breaks it, it goes down. Let's see, 71% over the course of like half a year.
Yeah.
So I am concerned that history might repeat itself, and
So over that, how much is it down right now from the all-time high? Is it like 20 something, 30%?
from all-time highs, we are down 40%.
40.
From the moving average, we are down 18%, and all of those other breaks were roughly like 50 to 70%. So let's just say 50%. That brings us to 2,300 or 23,000. I mean, sorry.
Yeah.
Which I think is totally plausible, and all of these support lines are at different moving averages. So this red one up here is where Bitcoin needs to get above to reclaim this so-called bull market support, right here. This blue line is at the 100-week moving average. This green line is at the 200-week moving average. And this this yellow line is at the 300-week moving average. And all of those are important because you can see right here, after we broke the 50-week, we fell all the way down to the 300-week right here.
Yeah.
And then the same thing right here, we broke the 50-week and fell all the way down to the 200. And then you go back right here, we broke the 50-week and fell. I mean, the 200 didn't exist yet because there wasn't enough data, but we pretty much landed on the 200.
Yeah.
So
Can you break down moving averages, like a quick definition, kind of,
yeah, moving
for the
average.
audience and for myself? I know it, but
There's
need a refresher.
so I'm using the 50, 100, 200, and 300 MAs. So essentially, right now it's on the weekly time chart. So it stands for a 50-week moving average, 100-week moving average, 200,
average
and
price in this
300.
50
And
weeks,
it's
right?
yeah, exactly. It's the average price that Bitcoin or any asset was at over the last 50 weeks or over the last 100 weeks or whatever the interval is that you have chosen for that. And as you can see here, like I said, the last two times it either fell to the 200-week or the 300-week. That's at about 20,000, 19,203 to be exact, and 14,000. So, I mean, I don't
But right now, from where the all-time high was set, if you look at history as well, like, and that was the top, and this is the quote unquote bear market. I've read so many things that have said that, Bitcoin would fall all the way to maybe like 25,000 or maybe it was right north of 25,000. But I mean, that is still very close to looks like the 200. It's in between the 200 and the 100. But I just don't with the more adoption that is in the crypto markets and how more mature they are, I would still be pretty surprised to see Bitcoin dip below. I mean, realistically, 25 is my like. I'd be floored if it's
Surprise, yeah.
there. I mean, 30,000. We just saw 30,000 earlier, middle of last year. That's where it's kind of closer up there to the top of the chart. It got down right below 30,000. I bought a little bit of Bitcoin, and it bounced off. And I could see us coming back to test around that area, but I could
The
also.
biggest, I mean, I do agree. Sorry to interrupt, but the biggest difference of that 30,000 between is it held this as support where it could hold the 100 week as support because that's at about 30,000 right now. But it would then it would be competing with this 50-week moving line, and instead of it being support, it's going to be treated as resistance, which I don't think is a good place to be in. But I'm not convinced that we're in the bear market just yet. I do think that if we break out of this little descending wedge right here, I'm predicting we break upwards from it. And if we do, and we can get past this red line right here, reclaim it as support, then that'll be amazing. That'll clear most of my concerns. That'd be awesome. But if we break this wedge downward, then this line of support is super important. And if we break that, I really do think we're going down to at least like close to 20,000. And even though you think it might not be too possible, I mean,
right?
I just want to go do a quick history lesson real quick. And the 2013 pop saw an 87% drop. And the 2017 saw an 83% pop. So obviously, 4% less than the pop before. So if we see a smaller drop, maybe 4% less this time, that'd be 79%. And that would bring us, oops, I messed that up. But that would bring us
from the all-time high, right?
Yep. All-time high.
Those errors, of those time
at
periods.
79, which would be 4% less than the last pop, which is also 4% less than the pop before that. That would bring us all the way down to $14,000. So I don't think that's out of reach.
I don't think so. A question: what do y'all feel about the institutional side of this now? Because before it was heavy retail.
People in the comments just kind of said that institutions will never let Bitcoin go down below 30K.
And I don't agree with that.
I would say just with the markets being more mature, I really don't like. I'll say this with Bitcoin when it first started, the volatility was crazy, and as it's matured and it's grown, that that volatility has gotten tighter. And I think as the years go on, and especially as the next halving, when we get to 2024, 2025, I think you're going to see you're not going to be able to buy a Bitcoin, one Bitcoin or a percentage of a Bitcoin and in 100x your money like they did initially. You're going to get those tighter patterns, and it's not going to be moving as much as did before. So that's where I don't think we're going to see below. My whole thing has always been like it's not going to go back below 25,000, but it just depends. I mean, obviously, if there's something crazy like another lockdown, or especially right now with everything that's going on, I mean, anything is possible. But I would almost agree with one of the people in the comments saying that institutions won't let that happen.
I think you'd be surprised at how quick institutions will leave with the money they made and make sure that it doesn't continue to go down.
Even Saylor.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I'm bringing up Saylor. A guy like him, it's harder to get Bitcoin off your balance sheet. It seems like once you put it on there, they got to go through a big process of selling and whatnot. And I actually heard Saylor speak again recently. And then, it seems that, as Lord David said, over time, the drawdowns of, dropping that 70, 80% that you were just charting, it seems to go less and less. And the growth won't be 200% year for year. Yep. It will start to stabilize more and it start to look more like the stocks. So I'm thinking we're going to go that market, just not 200% growth, but I don't think we're going to dip down.
No, I agree. And that's why I used 79% versus the other ones as before, because I do agree that the bull runs are going to be diminished. So we're going to have diminishing returns and the bear markets are going to be softer, but I'm not convinced it's going to be like 20, 30, 40% softer yet, especially in such a volatile market that people can trade anywhere all day long. So you could go to sleep and wake up in the morning and realize another country panic sold a bunch, and all of a sudden
That's true.
people getting liquidated left and right because there's not that many regulations. People are on 125x, leverages. There are so many reasons and ways that even if it's short lived, even if it only went down for 2 days, like we saw back in right before the COVID, let's see, right before the COVID lockdowns, it broke the 50-week moving average, went down and touched the 300. It literally fell from the 50-week. Let's see, it fell 55% over the course of like a week, and was back up, and was back up like 68% within like 2 weeks. So, I mean, even if it was something like that, where it was just a flash crash that also got sped up by a bunch of liquidated longs and things like that. So,
Yeah.
I even if it was just a wick, I don't think it's impossible for it to go under 20,000, to be honest.
So then let's kind of bring this back into the whole, the Algorand ecosystem. What does that look like then, for Algorand? Something, a crypto that's still, especially for all the, viewers and the people who are going to watch this, if you follow us on our socials, or if you follow us on our YouTube channels, we're obviously bullish on Algorand and where it can go, and so many of the things that are going to be added to the ecosystem in 2022. What does that look like? Are we thinking that, Algorand goes back to, sub 50 cents and has that kind of drastic drop as well? Or have we already seen a lot of the fear in the market baked in for 2022, and $1 is maybe that wall that we're looking at, because I would be surprised to see Algorand go below $1, but I'd still believe it could happen if Bitcoin continues to bleed out and it drops, and touches one of those moving averages.
Yeah, seeing algo go below $1, I believe it now based that it hit the $1.20 range. So now it has broken that $1.30 that it was at, and at the same time, the whole overall crypto market is at 2 trillion. I believe the last time I checked. So it is back above a 2 trillion.
1.9.
1.9.
That's because today, because it just fell.
Today, yeah. So I think that $2 trillion number is a key figure that we have to watch. Because if like Bitcoin, Ethereum goes down more, which I personally don't see Bitcoin or Ethereum going back into the 2000s. It seems like people are still very bullish on Ethereum, which means Ethereum could just take more market share if Bitcoin does drop.
Yeah, I mean, I do think it could pull the rest of the market with it, though. There's not necessarily a reason we have to have a separate alt season. I mean, it totally could happen, but it doesn't necessarily have to happen. I drew this, or a lot of what's on this chart, a long time ago, and I intended to buy when it was in this green circle, which I have been buying a little bit. But if you can see, I'll make it a little bit bigger. This dotted line right here, I'm going to make it a regular line. This is a critical line of support that I drew a long time ago. Let's see. You can kind of see it holding up. And then the second line of support is right here.
Yeah.
So
you would say in between those two lines is like obviously the optimal spot to be buying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, right here would be a good buy zone, but if it does break this line of support, it could go all the way down to the next one. It doesn't necessarily have to, but
it looks like it would put it right in that 80 to 90 cent range, which would be testing, where those lows were 60 cents, I guess, to 80 cents. It'd be testing back there, where those lows were before this big run we just had.
And
how does the because I saw someone else was talking about this that's going to hop on my channel. How does the supply right now? It seems like the supply is affecting the price a lot. Because we still got a lot more tokens to be distributed.
I'd say that's not necessarily the case anymore. I think we're at like close to 70% of the tokens are in circulation at this point.
Yeah, and you have like what 40% locked up in governance right now.
Well, soft locked, I guess, right?
Yeah,
because we got 2030 is when all 10 billion algos will be out, if I'm correct.
Yeah,
so we still have 8 more years of distributions.
Yeah, I'm not too concerned about the impending token unlocks. In fact, if we want to talk about a project that could have crazy token unlocks, I am, even though they continue to put aside the concerns, I am concerned about Opulus's tokenomics. I mean, there's still like 90 something percent of the tokens that are yet to be unlocked, and it's like
Yeah.
that's a lot. I mean,
I will
people are looking at the market cap now, being, oh, it's a low market cap, but if you look at the fully diluted market cap, it's almost $1 billion cryptocurrency already. So like that
which
calculation has to come into.
I
Go
will
for
say
it.
this, and obviously I am probably one of the biggest bulls out of the three of us. I would say with Opulus. I mean, I've invested, decently in Lil Pump. I've been,
Uh,
I'll probably invest in the next one that they have. But
Everyone.
here's my biggest thing: whenever tokenomics and all this stuff gets played into stuff like this, fully diluted market cap right now, I believe it would put Opulus in the top 100. Maybe if not right now, obviously with where it's at, it's probably more top 500 somewhere, top 250 in total market cap with all cryptos. But like, think of how, and this is obviously if they can, bring the product with their app where you'll be able to stake your Opulus, so then you can earn passive income on their app, plus the DeFi component. So then they can start to do the whole loans and offer loans to upcoming artists to give everybody the ability to invest in them. And then obviously earn royalties off of the future money made. So there are things and use cases for the Opulus token. But like, let's be honest, how many tokens right now are higher than Opulus, higher than, even Algorand and Yieldly and some of these other ones that we're in that literally are going to be gone in 5 years or less. Like
A
Doji
lot.
on Mars, I would even say Shibu Inu, like, Floki this, Inu that, Inu
Yeah.
this, like
Anything with Elon.
that's my frustration is with, I get it, but like you got to think once you get rid of so many of these cryptos that have really high market caps. I mean, at one point SHIB was 40 billion. Like, what
Yeah,
is
that
that?
was crazy.
Think of that money. Think of that money being, used in these other cryptos. I mean, that's where I think as this market matures and we start to see less people get excited about these tokens, the cat tokens, or just any token that gets created and the attraction of just being a millionaire overnight, and use case drives it, and industry changing tech and doing that kind of things. I think that's when you're going to see stuff like Opulus take off. And yes, they don't have as much of their supply released yet, but honestly, it's still so early on. They don't even have their app released yet. So,
Yeah.
to me, it's not that big of a worry, but I do get the concern, with, maybe if you bought it at $7, yeah, you probably should have, probably should have thought,
Thought about that, yeah.
thought about it
Or
with the token supply, but I wasn't telling my viewers on my channel to buy at $7 or $6. I was telling them to buy at 60 cents and 70 cents, saying,
Yep.
guys, this is one you can buy right now, and you don't have to touch it for years. Like, you can stake it. I earn like 4 Opulus a day, and soon I'll be earning more with the Little Pump song releasing, and that is what I'm talking about. And me and C Will have talked about that many times with earning passive income and thinking
Yeah.
long term over the short term. So that's my bullish case. I won't take all the time here to talk about Opulus.
facts. Can we hit some of these people in the chat?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you
I
what are you
seen
seeing?
what was the one I wanted to talk? The roadmap. Somebody asked, does roadmaps even matter anymore? Where did I
Oh,
see
you might
that?
not have been in one.
I gotcha.
How do y'all feel about that? And this brings me back to Yieldly again. Okay, with the roadmaps. It seems like that AlgoFi does loans, Tiny Man has the DEX, and as we can continue to go forward. So it seems like every time a project in the Algorand ecosystem drops or has some success, Yieldly is now cutting that out their roadmap, and they're not going to do it. What do y'all feel about roadmaps and with Opulus and Algorand and whatnot?
I see them more as I don't necessarily think they mean nothing, but I do think that usually most companies and most crypto companies, I mean, they're pretty similar. They're more bullish than they should be with how quick they can get products to market. So it's not that I think that the roadmaps mean nothing, but I do typically expect like a quarter delay on almost everything that's mentioned in a roadmap. And we're seeing that with Algorand now. I mean, we were supposed to get an upgrade to 10K TPS in 2021, and it's looking like that's going to be this quarter, even potentially as late as next quarter, but more than likely this quarter.
I feel like it's take it with a grain of, take it with a grain of salt. Like it's expectations of what they hope to accomplish.
Yeah.
But the crypto market, and even Seb said it in, your AMA and in your interview, the crypto markets are so fast evolving that like at some point you do have to pick, what stake you're going to die on, or, what you're really going to commit to. And I think, obviously Yieldy was one of the first movers. He definitely made sure to mention that a couple times. But at some point you have to realize, you know what? Someone else may end up making a better DEX. And if we're not going to be good at that, let's focus on, this esports. If that's what they're going to be good at, and it's this whole esports NFT marketplace. And honestly, I think it could be great. I think it could still bring value back to Yieldly, and things like that. But I feel like when you're, especially with all the ASAs that are out here coming on, Tiny Man, and then you can go follow them on Tiny Chart and you can get excited, and then you find out they got a website, you go click on it, oh my gosh, They got a white paper, they got a roadmap. They're planning what they're going to do in 2023, and they're a cat coin. No, like that's all I'm going to say. Yep. Don't trust the hype. Realize what it is. It is a money grab. Just like, for a while there, NFT artists were creating roadmaps for their art projects, and I was just like, this is no, like you should create art and enjoy it. And if people enjoy the art you're creating, they should buy it. And if they get behind what you're doing, but like I think it's just too much of hype, and it leads to what we just saw with Yieldly changing. Everybody gets mad, like, well, now you're a rug pull because you're not following through.
Let me hop too, because what you said with roadmaps. I'm on the other side. I think they're very important, because I really think the CEO or a project manager and the team matters. And I think the roadmap, if they don't complete their mission, is the fault of, the people who put it out. Because I always say, don't speak if you can't do it, So it's kind of like, for me, that scares me with my money. Like if I put money with Apple and they telling me they're going to drop a car, they're going to drop glasses, they don't deviate, and I'm pretty sure they're going to accomplish that goal. So that, again, makes me want to put more money in Apple or Microsoft. So in that terms, I think the crypto people got to just tighten up, and do what they say.
Yeah, and I agree, and I understand. Well, actually, I really don't. My little bit of pushback on what Seb said was like, with things falling off the roadmap, the DEX in particular, and I know a lot of people were like, well, we already have a bunch of DEXs, but now look at how excited everyone is that AlgoFi just announced that they're going to launch a DEX. I think it's an amazing move for AlgoFi, because you have the borrowing and lending all in the same place. You have the staking. You're going to have the decentralized exchange all in the same place. It's going to help out their stable coin, and they're going to be able to offer so many more other DeFi suite products because they're creating an all-in-one platform instead of just being like, we'll just be the platform for this one thing that can only take you so far. Yeah. So collaboration is great, but in the long run, some competition is necessary. You need to pump out the products and continue to be, the best at what you can be. So
when you look at Ethereum, they have like 10 of everything.
Well, yeah. Look, I'll pull it up right. I'll pull it up right now.
I know they have the most applications.
I'd love to see a statistic for how many tokens end in out of all. Let's see. Right now, there's 17,000. Actually, we just crossed 17,003 cryptocurrencies.
Too many tokens.
Love to see how many in the name Enid.
Tracked by CoinMarketCap. Yeah, there's a lot. This is the total value locked on all chains, and as you can see, if you can see,
175 billion. Yep.
Oops.
Up top.
Let's see right here.
Oh, Ethereum's 175 billion, right?
Boom. So you've got Ethereum right here with 413 protocols, and that's in number one. You go down, and this is ranked by market cap to TVL ratio. These are all of the top chains, market cap to TVL ratio. You go down, and Algorand is number 33, with only
33.
three tracked protocols. I mean, yeah, I think we have like 5 or 6. So DeFi Llama's a little slow, but new projects pop up every day. So in reality, they're probably a little slow on all these chains. So even
Yeah.
Ethereum probably has more than 413. So
That really does show you, though, how early it is still for Algorand.
but how we have a lot
How?
of catching up to do
Yeah, I
too.
was gonna
That's
say
the
how long is early. I mean, after a while.
I mean, we
I mean,
in my
apparently it has
opinion,
years to catch Ethereum.
we need to get into the top 20 on this list to get respectable attention, in my opinion.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
that would be, let's see.
See, because this is important too. I'm happy you pulled this up because if you look when timing went down, one application shouldn't have crippled a whole blockchain.
Well, yeah, but you got to look at here. I mean, just scroll back up there on that list. It has one protocol. I mean, obviously, like you said, this could
Elrond
be,
is slow too right now. They're the great technology, but they need to step it up too.
but it has one protocol and 1.5
But
billion total volume locked up. So it's like,
yep.
it's not to say that Algorand has to have 400 protocols before it can catch up to something like Ethereum.
It
just
needs
has
both though.
volume.
It needs both because
Yeah.
Elrond, yeah, has more total value locked, but we have a higher market cap.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously that's not the panacea for them. If they had 1.5 billion, if they were in 14th place in TVL like they are right now, but also had like 10 dApps, I bet they'd be a couple spots ahead of us on the market cap.
Yeah.
And by us, I mean Algorand. I don't mean to like pick a team. But yeah, I mean, on your point on Tiny Man, you can see the effect right here. This was the magic day, January 2nd, and then just liquidity plummeted. I mean, we're getting back up there. We're at about 11 million, and we topped out at about 43 million. So we're about 27% of the way back.
Yeah,
but
quarter. Yeah, we need. So what I'm saying is we need 3 more Tiny Mans. That's why I was a little upset personally with Yieldly because, like, it's been 6 months, and I'm like, you didn't even give it one full season, 1 year in the loop, like July to July, and then before they reevaluate it, and so that harms the ecosystem. Honestly, now I'm looking for a Yieldly replacement in the ecosystem. So people are talking about Algo Stake, Algo Fi more, DFly.
I think Humble Swap's going to be
Humble Swap
a competitor too, because they're going to offer staking. They're going to have liquidity pool staking, and they're going to be the DEX. So I don't know. I think it's going to be really. I'm trying to find the comment, but I know Chris commented on a thread I was in, and he said that like part of the goals that they have with Humble Swap and part of the the tools that they're putting out and the products they're putting out is to get their app to $1 to $2 billion worth of TVL, because he also agrees that it is an important metric for Algorand to achieve for us to be taken seriously. So, and
when I came to crypto, what starting with Ethereum, what got me like fully sold on it was DeFi. So I went on that hunt looking for DeFi everywhere that was reasonable and affordable in terms of gas, and that's why here we were Algorand. So DeFi, I believe, is the most important component, more than NFTs, that's why I like AlgoFi is DeFi, right? So that application and Tiny Man are the game changer. So yeah, again, disappointed with the Yieldly of not competing, as you said, and then also adding, because if we get another app go down, what are we gonna do again?
Right.
Yep.
So I need all them guys. If y'all hear C Will right now, all y'all drop tonight. Like we need it.
No, it only makes the ecosystem stronger, honestly. Because it's the same thing with the issues that some of these dApps were having with the Algo Explorer. The Algo Explorer is the one central point that a lot of these dApps use to pull a lot of their data from. And when that was giving people a lot of trouble, a lot of these dApps weren't working properly. So, I mean, there's a couple other projects underway that are going to release tools that will essentially do exactly what the Algo Explorer does. But we need that with everything. And, there should be more lending protocols that come out because, if AlgoFi went down, then all of a sudden we have no lending protocol in Algorand. And same thing with Tiny Man. If Tiny Man goes down, we have no DEX. So, like, I don't really buy that excuse I know this isn't a Yieldly video, but I don't really buy the excuse that it's like, we're going to collaborate instead. To me, that just it highlights a concern I have, because they already parked their bridges because they're like, they said it was because they weren't getting used, but in my opinion, it was because people like Algorand and Glitter Finance were already creating bridges, so they were beat to market in the bridges, and then they were like, oh, we're gonna park the decks because they were beat to market for the dexes. Now they're saying the next big thing is their launch pad, and it's like, are they going to be beat to market by that? Because there are other launch pads, there are other launch pads being created right now. There's a race to market on launch pads. So it's like, if they lose the race by a couple of weeks, so they're just going to not launch that too. So
I know that's like, I look at where I don't know who dropped the channel first, but I'm like, oh shit, JT or David dropped the channel. I can't drop a channel now on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? That's like the thinking. It don't make no sense to me.
Yeah.
Right. That's that. Not to get all on Yieldly as well. I had high hopes, and just the CEO team thing is very important. Very, very important.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting where a lot of these go, from obviously where we're at now, which is the bottom. I feel like the bottom of the barrel for as long as the overall market doesn't keep bleeding out. If we can get some support and we start flipping and turning it back up, I mean, I would love to see a lot of the ASAs like Yieldly, Opulus. Obviously there's tons of other ones. Zone is coming out very soon. They just actually sold out in like 10 seconds. It was like 15 seconds or something, that idea or the swap pretty much they did for the Algorand community. Obviously, U.S. investors still got KYC'd out of it, but that one, and that was a lot of money that they even raised there. But they did 2 other IDOs on this seed round, and they raised a ton of money there. And I think the token generation events on the sometime between the 25th and the 28th.
I got a question, David, for you.
Exchanges, you can go ahead and add the ASA in your wallet and get ready. But that's going to be another one like Opulus that and this is just something to think about. It's going to have a similar structure with the tokenomics as far as like how many is released at the start. So it's going to be really low supply. So it could have a similar crazy run on day one, and then obviously come back down. But then it could have another really big run, kind of like we saw with Opulus. So just make sure to have that in mind. If you're up, 10x, 50x or something crazy, take profit, because if the overall market's still doing what it's doing, just like you've seen Opulus do, it has the chance to come all the way back down.
Question for you, David. What makes you so bullish on Zone?
I feel like the main thing, and this goes with Opulus as well. Opulus has use case, and it's targeting an area that has been, I guess you could say, controlled by centralized things, and it needs, Opulus is almost like a breath of fresh air. Like, oh, this would be so cool to be able to invest in music and be able to earn money with the artists I like. When you look at Zone, I don't know how much you guys, but I play video games a lot. And you heard at Decipher, Matt Zhang talk about how play to earn, is going to be huge. And obviously Michael Arrington, he was another one of the bulls. He wasn't as high on this whole play to earn thing. But for me, it's like, I love the ability to play games and earn something for my time. And I'll even say this, I did a video with the Drone Racing League, and I played their app. I still play it every now and again if I have time. I won a water bottle, Drone Racing League water bottle for one of their tournaments. It's free to play, but I still earned something. Like, I made something. And you can also bet in there and make money. So for those who are good at playing video games, this is going to start a new era of gaming where it's not just the streamers getting paid, and it's not just the ninjas and the really Tim the Tap Man, those guys who have hundreds of thousands of followers. But if you're just really good at playing a game, you'll be able to challenge your friends with the Zone token. You can obviously, if you just like you have a Discord server, Will, you can actually have Zobo, which is their Zobo Discord bot that will link into your Discord server and allow your people to challenge each other. And then you, because you own the Discord server, earn 15% of the fees or of the rewards pretty much generated by doing that. So that is a two-folded thing. And obviously they do have the AFK elephants. I think they're going to be a success with the whole NFT thing. They kind of give me like Bored Apes type vibe.
Oh yeah, you show me those. Yeah.
And they have the backers. They have enough of the big backers to, they're definitely not short of money. If you've watched any of their productions, I mean, their name has been behind like, major soccer stars who are going up to get their awards at certain things. So like they're hooked in with the right people, just like Opulus, you could say, was with its whole, with Ditto Music. So it has the roots, it has the use case. Obviously, it has the community already that's being built. I think it just is going to take time for this play to earn ecosystem to get built out. But on Algorand, at least, I think Zone could be, something that could be almost like a, Axie Infinity, I guess, but not, it's not going to be creating its own game necessarily, but just partnering with other popular games like League of Legends, CS, Counter-Strike, Clash of Clans, Royale.
Like a Smilecoin competitor, we'll say.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, I wouldn't even put
Smilecoin. That's messed up. But yeah, okay, never mind.
I'm not gonna disrespect Adi like that in case he's watching this stream. I'm not gonna know that it's that comparison.
Okay, can I read a few things from my Discord people?
Definitely.
Someone says, where is it at? You heard of? They said they bought a piece of land on Algo NFT. You guys hear about any land?
No,
games,
but
Metaverse coming up.
I actually just wanted to bring that up because I have not heard of anything like it. Like I've heard of no sandbox like games or Decentraland like virtual worlds happening on Algorand. And to be honest, when I look into those virtual worlds, they're not too exciting to me because graphically they're still very boring. It's just not.
I think
Sandbox is leagues ahead of Decentraland, but it's still not where
it's Algorand.io. Algorand.io. Meta land.
I'll have to check that out because that'd be something really, really interesting to see if the Algo community starts buying virtual plots of land as well. I mean,
they said it 5x already.
Though as well. Sandbox and Decentraland at this point is like, it's just way too expensive. Like one little 16 by 16 piece is like thousands upon thousands of dollars depending upon where it's located. And it's just like for the people who got early on Mana and have millions of it, like for them, it's like, oh yeah, this is nothing. But for the people who are like just now learning about it, I mean,
no, we won't be able to get on.
And it's a really cool concept, but Decentraland and Sandbox are just not they're just not there yet for me. The idea, I could totally foresee the future where we're all in these virtual worlds, and I'm showing you my virtual art and my NFT, or I'm hosting like a concert, and anyone with a particular NFT can come over to my virtual plot of land and see the concert. Like I could totally envision that world, but we're not there yet for me to be excited about anything that's happening.
How long does it take for us to get to Ready Player One status? How many years?
5 to 10 years.
I'm about to say I'm 10 to 15.
I would have thought everybody'd be like 20, 30. We're nowhere near that. I think
they got those gloves coming out.
5 to 10 years.
Yeah, real Metaverse gloves where you can start to feel physical items, and then you pair that with what's it called? Spatial reality with the headset. I forgot what it's called. It's a Microsoft product. So they're doing it. We got 10 years.
Disney even said that they were going to be building a metaverse, but one that you don't even have to have glasses or a headset with.
Oh shit!
Right?
It sounds like
I am.
They're gonna like recreate The Sims, and that's it. They're just gonna call it a metaverse.
Oh, HoloLens. That's what it's called. I would look up HoloLens because Microsoft got a big old HoloLens. That's what it's called. HoloLens. Okay. HOLO lens. They got a big deal with Microsoft. Cut a deal with the military to build. I think it was 200,000 like training sets for soldiers, so that they can do like laser tag type of real training, so they don't have to do a different simulation. So I will follow Microsoft really heavy in this next 5 years. They got all the tech. They bought out Blizzard as well, and Activision.
Yeah, those are both really big. Obviously, who was Microsoft the one who just bought out
Blizzard and Activision? Yeah, which takes a play from Sony. So, and they're like I say with the HoloLens, they're like hella metaverse right now, and that's where I'm looking at for my metaverse play.
Yeah,
interesting.
Jury, one of the comments guys said the turtle will win the race. Who's the turtle in the metaverse though right now?
Yeah, Jury, who the turtle?
Right, you gotta let us in. It seems like he knows.
Who the turtle? Let me pull up the comment. Yeah,
that's the creepy one. Did y'all actually watch that whole meta thing with Zuckerberg? It's like
No.
an hour long.
Yeah,
Nah.
a little
It
creepy
is
dog.
is the most awkward thing you'll ever watch in your life. I promise you. It's like it's a horror movie, really.
Oh, he said the turtle smile,
Smile.
smile. I don't know about the turtle. Jury crazy.
He's going up. He's going all in on Smile. It's like
Yep.
what 97% down from its all-time highs.
All in
I'm
Smile Coin. You heard it here.
yeah, I'm down 80% still.
I
All-time high.
never I
Yeah,
never purchased Smile Coin, to be
from
I
its
honest.
wish I
all-time high, it's
didn't.
now 97.6
I
percent.
got wrecked. Yeah, wrecked on
Damn.
Smile Coin.
Damn.
That is the definition of a rug. Even though I don't think
Nah,
I
they just didn't do
think
their
rug,
job.
it just happened.
All right, can someone break down DFly again for myself and also the audience?
I
Since that's
feel
a
like
hot
JT's
topic.
got this one. He's in it, so he's probably done
Okay.
the most research.
I haven't done enough
Yeah,
research.
so DFly, pretty interesting concept. They were powered through some sort of Algorand Foundation grant program. Same thing with like Headline and a bunch of other projects. So they have the backing of the Algorand Foundation. They're working on creating an app which should be out for early investors within the next week or so. And the app should be available on iOS and Android. And with this app, it's basically like a DEX router. So by that, I mean, we only have one DEX right now, but as we get more, we have TinyMan, we have Humble Swap, Algo DEX, whatever else comes up. This app will be able to route your order to whatever DEX, and in theory, through whichever assets will give you the best execution price. So instead of, it's essentially going to become the ultimate arbitrage app. So, how on some exchanges the price is, 5% higher than other exchanges, you're able to, trade on every DEX via that one app. And I think it'll be great for exposure for the Algorand market because everyone loves to use a phone app. People don't like to, go onto their laptops to trade cryptocurrencies. People want to pull out their phone, just like Coinbase is a reason why Coinbase is the number one app. And people want to pull out their phones to purchase cryptocurrencies. So this is going to be kind of like a mini Coinbase for Algorand ASAs. I mean, to me, if they add a fiat on ramp to it, which they haven't mentioned they're going to yet, I don't want to get anyone's hopes up, but I do think it would be a pretty easy thing to do, even if it's just like MoonPay, which wouldn't be good for everybody, but it would still be great. I think it has the potential to become a little Algorand Coinbase, which could give all of the ASAs more exposure, make trading a whole hell of a lot easier. So, I'm pretty excited about it. Pretty much the token use case for it is essentially like any other exchange token. So, you hold the token and you get lower trading fees pretty much.
Rewards and
Here's
like
one thing,
CR.
another comment here. Ryan McDonald, USA. He said, I wonder if that's a play on like Ronald McDonald. I don't know. It made me laugh. But he said,
Ryan
small
McDonald.
backing of the Algorand Foundation with
That's
grant,
true.
LOL. So, and this is just kind of I know that I have got many of, I feel like I've brought a lot of people into the Algorand ecosystem. And a lot of them maybe are older, younger, little to experience in crypto, to some who have more. And the biggest thing that I wonder when telling people about like TinyMan and TinyChart is you go there and you start to see these green check marks, these blue check marks, and people automatically start to think that means this thing's legit. Or a Medium article comes out and says the Algorand Foundation, this person or this company or this thing got a grant from them, so they're going to get X amount of money. And everybody just starts going crazy, like, oh my gosh, this is the next best thing. What do you guys think when, what goes through your mind when you're seeing the Algorand Foundation backing these projects, especially knowing that, Smilecoin, it had a backing. I'll even say this. I didn't meet them really, but I saw the guys that are creating it. They kind of just gave me weird vibes at Decipher. And it's just like, it's not enough just to trust these check marks and that the Algorand Foundation gave them money. What goes through your all's mind when you
I'll say this. It's an analogy right here. I think about the NBA draft. So what Algorand Foundation is doing, they got 30. They're drafting right now. Not everybody's going to turn out to be a Stephen Curry or a Draymond Green or a Klay Thompson, right? These are late picks, and then we could easily get a Greg Oden. Our number one picks could, like Udley's a number one pick. It could flop, right?
Yeah.
So.
Could break an ankle,
Exactly, break an ankle, or Zion Williamson, he might gain weight, right? So that's kind of how I'm seeing with Algorand, because I was starting to question. I'm like, they're kind of sending money out to a lot of different places, but not everybody's going to make it, right? So that's where I'm at with the ecosystem. It's like we need time, and then the top dogs will dominate.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, the whole point of the foundation is to try to bootstrap the ecosystem.
Yeah.
If you think about the foundation, I mean, I know it's not an investment vehicle, but if you think of it like an investment fund, they're going to fund, 30 different projects, and, maybe 15 of them, or maybe even, more than half of them are total flops, but the other half end up being 10, 20, 30x companies that make up for all of the other losses on their balance sheet. So, it is certainly, just because they have the Algorand Foundation stamp does not mean they're going to be great or successful. It just, it's a little bit more of a reassurance that they're not just some like scam artist that came out of nowhere. But it's not the reassurance that they're just going to create a great project. I mean, they could fail. It's a lot of startups fail. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of like you said, startup. These are like truly startups. It seems like, I don't know Seb Quinn's background with Yieldly, but it seems like a lot of these people, this is their first business.
Yeah,
I could be wrong, but this seems like a lot of first-time business.
Why I like Opulus, man.
I agree.
You're right, exactly.
Has the experience with Ditto, and he's brought in some guys who, like the Sony guy. There's so many good things that are going on there, and that's why we all say do your own research. Like, you really got to do research to find out more than just the hype, but the building behind. I mean, that's why we all love Algorand. We did
Agreed.
our research.
Yeah, that's why I like Algorand.
I mean, for me, I completely agree that I think Opulus has, out of all the apps building on Algorand, Opulus has the best team.
Yes,
like there's not even like
no question.
Hands down. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And and like we said, Lee Parsons. Shout out to Lee Parsons. He tweets so much, right? But they communicate, and he could be over communicating for all I know. But I would take over communication rather than not enough communication. Or
100%.
Yeah. So, I take my investments again. It's like it's a relationship. It's a give and a take. I give money, and y'all give me that product roadmap and commit to, and then deliver. That's what we hope, or we lose money in the short term, But as an active passive income investor, I'm always looking for new opportunities.
Before we get too far into this, because I'm sure we're getting close to wanting to wrap this up.
Oh,
I do just want to show something real quick, just to make people know it's not all doom and gloom, and there might be some light at the end of the tunnel.
I was about to say, we can give some price predictions.
I don't want to give any price predictions, but this is Into the Block. Into the Block does really, really great on-chain analysis, and what we're looking at right here are all of the tokens that are in, at, or out of the money. So these red periods, these red parts are all the tokens that are out of the money. Green is in the money, and this white in between is at the money. So as you can see right here, as we get, let's see, this is current day, and a good majority of the tokens are out of the money. Let's see, there's a good portion in the money, and there's hardly any that are in profit right now, which is pretty crazy to think about. But if you zoom out, those are the best times to buy. So right here, when there's a lot of Algorand out of the money, one of the best times to buy. Even right here, when it was just a little bit of Algorand out of the money, was a great time to buy. Pretty much all throughout history. So this could be an amazing time to at least start dollar cost averaging. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean it's the bottom, because we've reached points where only like 1.3% of addresses were in the money. So, and we're at like 17% now. So, we could come down a lot more, but I do think that this does show we're nearing the end of that downswing. So maybe it's possible for another 10, 20%, but I do think that it's a great time to start dollar cost averaging into the market for sure. I wouldn't sell if you're worried about anything, for sure.
Bad time right now.
Terrible time to sell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to show that to a lot of the people on my channel, because I've never seen Into the Block. I've never used that app.
I've never seen it either.
Into the Block is pretty great. Let's see.
I'd be interested to see what it shows on Opulus.
And as you can see right here, I'm not sure it does that, because it's on-chain data, so I think it's just.
So Opulus is on Algorand's chain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I guess it might, but let me see. No, it doesn't.
Opulus.
It doesn't have anything for Opulus. But yeah, as you can see right here with Algorand, it's got 63% price correlation with Bitcoin. So that's a lot. A large part in the reason why I pay attention to Bitcoin a lot when I'm trying to figure out what Algorand's going to do, because it has not lost its correlation to Bitcoin. That's for sure.
No, 63% is high. Well, y'all want to close out?
Yeah, we can close out. Let's close out. Any last words for anybody? Anyone want to say something before we head out of here?
It looks like there was a couple comments.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Isaiah said Algo Stake and Headline seems like two good picks. Want to pick up some Glitter and DFly as well. I would agree. I have some Headline. Obviously, I didn't have DFly. I didn't get in early enough, but definitely once Glitter launches, I'll be looking to grab that as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I really hope DFly is still doing good when those pre-sale tokens unlock, because man, I got so lucky with that, because I knew the pre-sale was happening, but I didn't really give it much mind. And then I woke up the morning it was happening, just off chance, checked my phone, and it was an hour into the pre-sale and it was already like 80-90% sold, and I was like, shit. I jumped out of bed and jumped on into the pre-sale real quick, but I was like, man, I could have woken up 20 minutes from now. And
I was literally watching your tweets, like, because you were tweeting about it, like saying you just got jumped in and like asking who else is going to get it. I was literally like, should I not? And I just like, no, I'm going to let it pass.
Yeah. Some of those I can't catch everything either.
Right. And that's another good lesson to know. You can't what Warren
chase.
quote is like,
fact.
You don't have to hit all of the moonshots. It only takes a couple to really, change your life, especially if you sell and you don't, ride it all the way back down. But that's what
they say you got to get rich once.
Exactly, right? They say the first 100,000 is the hardest. So get there, and then from there you should be able. If you're smart with your money and you start reading some books, doing some research and learning, you should be able to make it from there to financial freedom.
Facts. I was like, sound like a nice closeout with that one.
Hey, I actually just want to cover Casey's comment real quick right here. Sorry to keep you guys, but
no, you good.
78% large holders, and I did just pull this up right here. I don't know if you guys can see this, but whale concentration is 14.5%. Investor concentration is 63.5%. And the difference between whales and investors by this metric is whales own more than 1% of the circulating supply. Investors own 0.1 to 1% of the circulating supply. And then retail owns less than that. See, down here you can see, let's see if I can zoom it in a little bit for people.
What's the investor volume then? If we're retail,
we're
not.
We're retail, which is bigger than whales. So retail is 22.25%, whales are 14%, and investors are 63%. However, if you add the investors and the whales up, that leaves like 77% held by people that own 0.1% of the supply or more.
Yeah, that's huge.
What's the investor metric? Like, who's the investors?
Oh, it just bases it on how much you hold. So like I said, from the whales, the way it calculates, breaks it into three, is whales are 1% or more of the circulating supply. Investors are 0.1 to 1% of the circulating supply. And then retail's everyone else below 0.1%.
So just based on how much you own.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay,
it's pretty much broken up. They could have named it whatever they wanted. It's just broken up between 1%, 0.1 to 1%, and then below 0.1%.
Sean Crosby said Scaramucci's one for sure. He's definitely would he be a whale or would he be a investor?
Probably a whale.
Yeah, he'd be a whale, I think.
He put like what, 250 million?
I don't know what the math is behind that. I don't know what his entry price is either.
Even then, it's like, does he own 250 million of Algo, or has he just invested $250 million into helping build the Algorand ecosystem with his Skybridge?
Well, he's been asked this question actually a little bit more direct. He was asked if he owned Algo the coin or if he owned equity in the private Algorand company, which I didn't even think of, and I think that's a great question to ask. And he did say it was the coin, which I was actually surprised, because he said he holds zero equity in Algorand, which I was actually kind of shocked about. So I mean, by his words, if we take him at face value, that's $250 million in the token.
Ryan McDonald said 250 million, more like 100 million right now. Especially if he bought back a couple. If he bought back a Decipher, then yeah, that's for sure. Because that's when it was like $2.40 something cents.
I know, man. I can't believe it got wrecked so much.
Life lesson right there. If Scaramucci can diamond hand and see his 250 million go down to 100 million or something, whatever it is right now, then you can stomach whatever dip you're at. Buy more.
Yeah, he's got plenty of money though. It's not the end of the world for him.
No, he good.
But yeah, it's been real, guys. I appreciate you guys coming on the show. It's been great having you. If anyone in the audience isn't subscribed to Crypto for Change or the Passive Income Network, definitely do that now. I believe I put the links in the description, so you should just be able to find it and click those links. Smash the thumbs up button if you haven't done so already, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. It's been real, guys. I appreciate both of you, like I just said, and we should catch you in the next one.
Heck yeah.
Peace.
Peace.
Thanks, man.